Hey everybody, Gino at Traverse City Guitar Company. Today we are working on truss rod pockets. So you can see my sled is set up in my drill press. I have increased the speed with the router bit. It's a 1/2 inch shank with a 1/4 inch bit to route that pocket. So adjustable, you can adjust the center line, which is what I'm doing. That's a nice looking back of the head. Making sure that everything is lined up from the front of the neck all the way to the heel of the neck. And I'm going to drop it down and grab my truss rod. I'm going to check the depth, make sure the stop is set right for the depth. Okay, dude, move on. You're done. It's good. Fire up the machine. So I got a mark 3/4 inches off from where the edge of the nut sets, and that's where I start my plunge. So I go full depth with the plunge here, just to kind of define that. Then I back it up a little bit and then set the depth stop, and then I just move it through. So I learned over the years that just making a single pass is the most accurate, because sometimes when you reverse and pull it back through with the press running, it doesn't come out as clean and nice. So when I get to the end of this line, I'll shut it off, lift it up, and then go back to the beginning of the paddle and plunge the full depth, and then finish routing the rest of it there. And away we go. So now that I've got that done, the truss rods I'm using are dual action. They're sealed. They're really nice, low profiles. They do have staggers, so the majority of the truss rod is that 1/4 inch, but the end with the adjustability with the hex in it is a little larger, so there's actually 2 steps on that. So I've switched over to a modified Forsner bit. I believe that's a 5/8 to plunge a little deeper and a little wider to accommodate the front part of that truss rod. So you can see I'm kind of setting up my center line here, making sure that I'm routing it nice and even on both sides of that shoulder. Lock it back down, and again, touch down, and then check my stop depth adjustment with the truss rod, as you'll see here. As I'm sitting narrating this, I realize like how exciting it is to watch. There's a lot of time in between, but once you get the process set up, repeating it. So I actually did 8 necks total with this. Once I got this set up, it wasn't but maybe 10 minutes to go through all 8 necks and do this. So it's a pretty quick process if you're repetitive with it. So I'm just going back and doing, small increments, plunging to depth just to get the material out of there. And then once I get the length of it done, then I will drop the bit down a little bit and just kind of work it back and forth just to get it all and the material out of there. Here we are, we're at depth. And just going to run it back and forth to make sure everything's cleaned up nice. there we go. So on to the next step. Then I just grab a couple of chisels. And that second stagger is just not quite as wide as that, so I just cut and chisel that out by hand. I'm moving maybe a 32nd of an inch off both sides of this for that second little stagger on the truss rod. And then with a little gouge, I'm just removing the bottom of that as well so it fits in. And once this is done, I got it cleaned up a little bit. You'll see I'll drop the truss rod in there, and it's away we go on to the next step. So you can see the blank behind this is the way the blank will look up once it's done. So after this process, I glue the heel extensions on, and then it's ready for the next step, which would be joining it to the body.